Welcome to No Gluten, No Problem. Episode 3, Demystifying the Dimensions for Others. Hear no gluten, see no gluten, speak no gluten. Remember the phrase, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil? This actually originated as a Japanese proverb depicting 3 monkeys covering their eyes, their ears, and their mouth, referring to someone who represents the best in terms of their moral stance on the way they live. But did you know that now it has come to mean the opposite of that, referring to someone who will turn a blind eye to something that they know to be wrong? It amazes me to still find those that turn a blind eye to the existence of issues associated with gluten intolerance, or ignore the symptoms that potentially support their need for a gluten-free lifestyle. You'd also be surprised at how many people have not heard of gluten and have no idea what it is. Awareness is increasing, though, with more companies seeing it as a tactic to get a competitive advantage and more brand recognition. The same could also be applied to restaurants, especially if their menus have those gluten-free labelings and those menu items are accurate. Now, when servers in a restaurant hear no gluten, or hear me say, I'm gluten-free, or I ask for the gluten-free menu, what they're actually hearing could have a variety of meanings for them. Some are hearing that, she's just on a diet, like keto or paleo, for example. But some are also hearing that I'm going to be a challenging customer. Thus, they're preparing themselves to get ready for more work. So, just because I've said it, I must make sure that even though they've heard it, they truly understand how it applies to me and my personal dining experience. Now, most often I get the response, let me check. That's when I know that it's going to be imperative that I demystify gluten-free eating for my server as well as the chef. I do this so there are no misunderstandings that lead me to being sick for the next couple of days. If my server follows up by asking, Miss, are you actually allergic or celiac? Then this act of qualifying me is actually a good thing. But sometimes this question feels like they're saying, so do I need to take you seriously? Recently, we went to a restaurant known for its many varieties of tasty pasta. Now, why, you might ask, would someone like me go somewhere known for pasta when almost all pasta is not gluten-free, thus limiting my options? Well, in this particular instance, my good friend's daughter just started working there, and we wanted to show our support. This takes us to C, no gluten. Seconds after we sat down, a basket of those delicious garlic breadsticks was promptly placed before us. No surprise considering where we were, and I never deprive others based upon my gluten-free needs. At this point, my mouth didn't even water. I didn't expect to have many options, so as I perused the menu, I looked for the basics. Hamburger, no bun, steaks, grilled chicken or fish. I also looked for the gluten-free, that GF symbol next to any items. But nope, I couldn't see no gluten. When I asked the server after he returned to get our drink orders, I asked if they had a gluten-free menu. His face was quizzically classic. He said, I don't know. I've never been asked that before. Let me check. He came back after a bit and said, well, we don't have a gluten-free menu, but here are some items that can be made gluten-free. Then he cheerfully read from his notepad about 4 or 5 selections. He seemed so proud of himself. Then he said, you are my first gluten-free customer, so you'll have to help me as we go. I was pretty impressed with his attitude, assuming that he was new and the fun of being an employee here was still like fresh. I was surprised after asking him how long he had worked here, and he said, 3 years. Now, not wanting to further complicate our dining experience, I decided to do just that. I would just help him as we went along. So I ordered salad, having to make sure that the dressing was on the side, as most dressings have some sort of thickening agent, and those agents have gluten. But guess what? When he brought the salads, he grated all of that delicious Parmesan cheese on everyone else's and proceeded to walk away. I said, wait a minute, I'll have some grated cheese, please. And then he said, are you sure? Can you eat this? I laughed at first and then felt sorry for him, saying, now that's so nice of you to ask, but I reiterated that grated cheese, like most cheeses, is gluten-free, unless it's that cheese that's already grated in a bag. That is not. I was there to educate and to speak no gluten as often as I could. Speaking about no gluten is one of the best things that I can do whenever I can, in hopes that more and more people can also educate others to understand. Because I was able to clearly speak no gluten, we all had an enjoyable meal. I had steak topped with blue cheese, while he had lasagna. And that was something that I used to enjoy, but had to suffer the consequences. But now I have a few decadently delicious gluten-free recipes for lasagna as well as mac and cheese that just might end up being your go-to Italian dish at home. These are readily available on my website, larsonslegacybank.com. So follow me for episode 4 as we learn to question everything that goes into your mouth.